Welcome back to Have You Heard, the social media podcast by us here at The Social Shepherd, where we tell you everything you need to know about social if you work in digital. My name is Zoe, I'm the CEO here, and today I'm joined by
Imogen, account manager,
and
Rihanna, a senior social media executive.
Fabulous. They're back. They've both been on the podcast before, so you guys know the drill. Let's get stuck into industry updates. So we talked last week. Oh, sorry. Actually, before we start, for anyone watching this, our neon sign is broken. If you're listening, that's not very relevant for you. So we will crack on.
At least it's the social bits there.
That's the important part.
for
yes,
sure.
Exactly.
Shepherd, dude, yeah. No, but is it like they're like what they're going to talk about herding?
Yeah, all right, fair. It's not a podcast about sheep. Cool. So our first update is the TikTok Shop have launched the 1 Million Club to help new sellers hit 1 million in revenue on TikTok Shop. We talked last week about Made by Mitchell, who was the first brand ever to make £1 million in revenue. It might actually be dollars, from a TikTok live. So they absolutely smashed it. They've had so much PR off the back of it. Really paid in dividends in terms of what they did for the revenue and the additional brand exposure. But obviously this is something that TikTok are trying to do basically. So they're TikTok actually do, if you invest in TikTok, they will give you partnerships. They will support you on the journey. It's nice to see that they're helping other people do this. The 1 Million Club plan brings 5 core benefits to new merchants. So up to 90 days, 0% commission-free sales. So for those that don't know, if you are selling on TikTok Shop, so I don't know, say ASOS, for example, were on TikTok Shop. Not actually sure if they are on TikTok Shop. We'll have to check that. But they obviously have their website, which they sell through. And if they were then selling on TikTok Shop as well, TikTok take a commission on the sale on top of any media spend that you put behind that to get that sale. So they're actually reducing their profit margins unless they are increasing the price of their products on TikTok Shop. So to support people and kind of encourage people to get onto TikTok Shop, as part of the 1 Million Club, they're offering up to 90 days, 0% commission free sales. Which means that TikTok won't make any money off of the sales, although they will make money off the ad credits that you use to get the sales. Free storage and fulfillment by TikTok Shop. So again, for those listening, there's different fulfillment options. Whenever you come to TikTok Shop, you can either fulfill yourself or you can use a fulfillment partner directly connected to TikTok Shop. You ship all your products out there and they handle all of the logistics of it. So free storage and fulfillment is part of this offer. Seller support priority service. Interesting. Seller training support, so I guess that's to help internal team members understand how to manage it, and dedicated marketing support to boost shop and product exposure and attention. So I think the most interesting ones that they're offering there is the free storage and fulfillment and the 90 days 0% commission free sales.
For sure.
The storage bit particularly, because we've had previous clients who we wanted to get on TikTok Shop, but it was that which was stopping them. So get on the call, bring them back.
Bring them back. Yeah, to be fair, that is the case. That's the main blocker for brands whenever they're trying to get onto TikTok Shop. And actually, a lot of clients that come to us, they don't realize that there's a commission structure in place at all there, and they get a little bit confused. But when they get further down the line, if you're a Shopify store, it's much easier to integrate directly into it. But if you're not a Shopify store and you don't have a tech team behind you, it's really difficult to actually connect the back end of your website with TikTok Shop, and then you end up with like 2 streams of commerce that you're trying to manage. So you've got customers over here, chaos. So that's why it's much easier if you're on Shopify and if you've got that support. But then you've also got to get to the point of, well, where are we fulfilling these from? Are we fulfilling them ourselves? Again, if you've got that Shopify connection, it's going to be much easier because all the orders are going to go through one place, or they're using a fulfillment partner. That's the reason why we haven't really seen Instagram Shop be implemented in the same way, because it's like, it's a whole separate entity. Like when we speak to TikTok, like TikTok is one thing. You try and speak to your normal TikTok reps about TikTok Shop, they're like, I don't know, speak to the TikTok Shop team. But yeah, I think it's nice to see that TikTok Shop are supporting
Yeah,
brands.
they're listening to what the people want.
Yeah, and those are some really important incentives. I think that brands will recognize that because, like you say, those are obstacles for a lot of brands in terms of getting themselves on TikTok Shop. But I also think it goes both ways, and that it's beneficial for TikTok to get as many brands on as possible, especially the more recognizable ones, because that also adds to the TikTok Shop's credibility.
Yeah.
Some people, I think for a while when TikTok Shop first emerged, people would see it and be a bit confused and a bit unsure about the legitimacy, whereas the more brands that are getting on there, the more likely people are to see it and think that it's a legitimate source to shop from and be more inclined then to purchase.
Definitely.
100%. Have either of you bought from TikTok Shop? Okay, what's the last thing you bought from TikTok Shop?
Oh, what is the last thing I bought?
Ooh,
I bought
I
some
know.
sunglasses, actually.
Very nice.
Love. Really nice. They're not, I mean, I'm going to be real, they don't super block out the sun loads, but a great accessory.
Functionality.
I love
the look. And do you know what? I'll take it. I love them.
Have you seen the viral blue stain lip thing?
Oh, you got that,
I
did you?
got that and
okay.
I love it.
Do you use it every day?
Every day.
Wow.
I look a bit crazy in the morning. The first time I did use it, my partner was like, I don't think that's a lip colour you should go for. And I was like, no, it's a stain. It
Trust
rubs
the
off.
process.
Yeah,
Trust the process.
absolutely.
Literally all good. I really like it.
Amazing.
So yeah. But I've done the sunglasses. Got a couple of earrings.
Nice.
Yeah, same.
I got like a back scrubber thing.
Of course you do.
It was great.
Do you know what? It's the place where you find things you never knew you needed, isn't it?
I know.
It's like the bits and bobs shop.
Yeah,
Last thing I bought was
exactly.
a tripod, actually.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I think that's the thing with TikTok Shop that's hard, is like, when are they going to be able to break out off this bits and bobs thing where people are actually going to go there with purchase intent, whereas I don't actually think at the minute you go onto that shop like, oh, I need a new bag, I'll go straight to TikTok Shop.
Exactly.
It's not there yet. That search intent is still on the likes of Google, Pinterest as well, although Pinterest don't have a full commerce offering. Soon to come though, apparently. But there is some work to be done about the legitimacy of it, and as you mentioned, having larger, more established brands on there will really help. Interestingly, we've had loads of like heritage brands come to us and be like, please help us get on TikTok Shop. So it's coming.
It is.
And it'll be interesting whenever they come through.
Definitely.
Next update is that Facebook tests clear mode for uncluttered Reels viewing. So after testing it out with IG Reels, Facebook is also trying out clear mode for uncluttered Reels viewing, which I just said. So basically,
I'm confused.
I think it just means that you can, scroll through Reels as you would. You know, you go to the Reels feed on Instagram and you just sort of, you're scrolling like you're on TikTok. You can do the same thing on Facebook. You can also do it on LinkedIn now as well.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Scroll straight through.
Well, I guess that's sort of the premise and the format of TikTok. So we're just sort of replicating things that have done that are successful.
I guess it's just like a different type of viewing, because if you go onto Facebook or a platform like LinkedIn, which is traditionally text and image based, you could go on there whilst you're at work, for example, and you would might have your sound off and you might just be more like consuming. Whereas if you're in a Reels feed or like some type of video feed, you're going to be in a different state of mind. You're there to be entertained and to view what's put in front of you. You're not necessarily searching for something particular. So it's just different. Like, you would go to that feed to be entertained, whereas in the other ones, you're kind of there.
Would you do that on Facebook?
I don't really go on Facebook.
I do go
that
on
much.
Facebook.
Not Reels anyway,
No.
Facebook at least.
I'd watch my Reels on Instagram.
Yeah, I really go on Facebook to see whose birthday is coming up.
Yes, I do the same, to be fair.
Come in.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that'll be interesting to see. YouTube updates audio removal options to address copy strikes. So YouTube have made some improvements to their audio removal options for videos to help creators address copy strikes and keep their uploads active in the app. So reading more into this. The new system utilizes improved AI for audio removal, which will give creators more options in editing their clips in order to address copyright claims known as copy strikes on the platforms without having to mute the entire thing or redo the video completely. Okay, so it just means that, Mariah, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if your video falls foul to a copyright claim of any nature, you don't need to like take the whole video down or mute the whole video. You can re-edit it without having to like re-upload it. You're going to keep all your views that are already there. It's not necessarily going to impact the performance of your video.
So when you upload it.
Or when you're uploading. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you don't have to go back through the upload process.
That's
Lovely.
good.
Yeah, I think that's really positive. It is such a shame. I think for a lot of creators and brands uploading content, if you do get that copyright claim in and have to remove the content, you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And that is a really difficult process. It's taking time. And also, if you've worked on this piece, it cuts out a lot of like extra editing if you can just remove that piece of content that's
I
drawn up the
also
copyright claim.
suppose if it's like a sponsored post or something and you've got time limits on it, that the company want you to post this at 6 p.m. that day, then you have to remove and add, like it takes all the faff out
For sure.
of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my query on it is that like, surely you know if you're going to be subject to a copyright issue whenever you're creating the content in the first place.
But doesn't it also sometimes change, like the sort of like, not the terms, but sometimes songs are, that one song might be absolutely fine, but then the following week or so.
Yeah, there are different laws around it, I guess. What I think it is quite interesting for is I've seen a couple like YouTubers, if they're like vlogging out and about, for example, and they're in a shop and there's like background music on in the store or something, sometimes that can get flagged.
Yeah.
I think it's more from a creator perspective, it might be helpful, but from a brand perspective, I mean, you need to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You should know.
Have to be wary
you should
anyway.
know
Yeah.
before you're kind of hitting any type of copyright claim there.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely a good update for people.
Yeah.
Spotify is now allowing users to leave comments on podcasts. So is Spotify going to become another social platform for us to manage?
I can't partake in this conversation.
Why?
I'm not a Spotify guy.
Are you an Apple
you
Music
not?
girl?
Apple Music.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Emma,
Should I ever
like-
actually met an Apple Music
Yeah.
person?
Exposed on the pod.
I know.
This will be the headline. Apple Music user.
Never, ever.
Never.
So you can never go on the
Wow.
Sonos in the office?
No.
You're never office DJ?
No.
Wow.
I can't, yeah. I'm
I'll
just
never hear it.
only Apple Music from a young age and it's just stuck with me. The whole
No
family's
way.
on it. Got a little family discount deal.
Posh?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Subtle flex, is it?
She's a Bath girl. But no, so whatever. So like Spotify, what's it they do? Roundup.
Oh, yeah. You're
Yeah.
wrapped.
Unknown. I don't know. I just guess.
Leave it as a mystery.
Apple do one, but I don't post it. Imagine if I posted that on my story.
Exposing yourself,
I
literally.
literally would. But yeah, so
Imagine.
talk amongst yourselves.
All right. Well, Rihanna, would you leave a comment on a podcast? Are you a commenter on social?
I wouldn't say I am, not outwardly on brand content and things, but I do think it's a really nice idea, especially now. I think with podcasts bringing in more video now, especially Spotify itself is using video on the platform, even though obviously podcasts are meant to be an audio based piece of content. I think it's nice to add to that level of interactivity, especially because, you know, people really want to connect with their audience. And if someone is a Spotify user and they only connect with that creator because of the podcast, they still have a means of commenting on this content. And yeah, I think it's nice. It's more interactive. It creates more of a community on the app. I like that direction. I think it's nice.
So do you think in 6 months' time, you're going to be adding Spotify to your list of platforms to do community management on?
Well, that's a good point.
Like, should it be serviced by social agencies? I guess out of all of them, like whilst podcasts aren't traditionally considered social, social team members probably have the best skill set to be able to cater to that type of conversation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if customer service teams can find it quite difficult sometimes to get the sort of the social TOV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is that I guess comments are great, but it's a lot more limited still in terms of what you would get community management wise on Instagram. Like there's no direct messages. It's, you know, like a simple comment. Like we're not necessarily showing likes. Like there's a lot more engagement metrics on other platforms, and I feel like brands are being more inclined to put their budget towards Meta, for example, than Spotify. But you never know, they might continue to bring out more features like that and make it a more interactive and social platform. And then further down the line,
then
it's
Apple
a bit more
will do it in
worthwhile.
6 months' time. then I'll come back for that.
Okay, well, we'll add you onto that podcast. Okay, cool. And then our final update is Instagram is sticking to short videos, says Adam Mosseri. They never make their mind up. They change it all the time. I like 2 years ago it was 10-minute videos. That's going to live on the platform they were trying to take on YouTube. And it's interesting because obviously TikTok are now trying to push this kind of agenda that longer form videos belong in the. I mean, we say longer form, we're talking over a minute.
Yeah.
We're not making movies there.
Yeah.
But they're trying to push that, and Adam Mosseri is trying to keep it shorter now, even though the platform was trying to push long form a while back. So it's interesting. Although one thing I will say is I really appreciate Adam Mosseri's transparency. Like I saw a clip of him the other day and someone was like, do hashtags actually do anything? And he was like, no.
I knew it.
We've known that for a while. Like they don't actually like. I guess they can steer your content in terms of the audience to put it in front of, but it's not really going to increase your reach in any shape or form.
Yeah.
Like a hashtag strategy won't save bad content. Like good content will soar, bad content won't soar.
I remember back in the day, 15 hashtags every post.
That was it.
Yeah.
Times change.
I know.
When you were in the organic team.
Yeah. Hashtag strategy.
Yeah.
That's an awful hashtag.
I know. Yeah. We won't do that.
So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I guess, Rihanna, how do you feel about longer form reels? I mean, that's kind of what we do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think to me, when I hear long form, I still think of like the YouTube, the half an hour videos and whatnot. I feel like I'm not going on Instagram to see really long videos.
Yeah,
like I'm scrolling through casually in my feed. If I want to watch something for a longer period of time, I'm heading to like a streaming platform or YouTube, for example. Like for example, I was on TikTok the other day and I came across a 20-minute video and I just thought the completion rate is going to be awful on that. No offense to this person, but I didn't get it. I know, obviously, the social media person is like me, but I could tell in the comments, people also aren't on those platforms for that long content because everyone was just commenting, "Can someone summarize this for me?" Because I don't want to watch the whole thing.
I now keep seeing the ×2. I keep clicking that.
I watch YouTube videos on ×2.
Yeah,
I don't have time.
I find the talking, because what it does to their voice really puts me off a little bit.
Oh.
So like, imagine this conversation in ×2.
Oh, do you know what? People are so mean about my accent.
I've seen this.
I'm getting so much hate on LinkedIn and TikTok.
I don't understand their confusion. It's clearly Northern Irish.
Well, yeah.
Izzy got some hate too for her Bristolian accent. So
Izzy is very Bristolian.
Yeah.
We're an agency of accents.
But think of the comments I'd get in 2 times speed over the accent confusion. That's not what we want.
No.
Anywho, I agree with your. I guess the only thing about like TikTok is, and I know this point was about Instagram, but I will watch series on TikTok, but it'll be like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And then you go to the account and you scroll down to your just watch, and then you find the next one. But
it's so much more manageable.
You
for some
summarise
reason.
my evenings.
But like they are taking like the key points of what like an hour-long episode and summarizing it into like 5 1-minute-long clips.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't watched Love Island.
I just watch it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going on.
Casa and More.
I'll
Everyone's
take
with
that hour
Mimi.
back in my evening.
But it's
honestly,
I don't tend to watch any reality things anymore because I just get the summary on TikTok, or I get the little 2-minute clips, or the ends, or the first looks, and next times,
all the references.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment about something on Love Island the other day, and I was laughing along. I thought nobody knows that I haven't actually watched this.
Wow,
I've just seen it on TikTok. Oh. There we go.
Was it? Who's Emma?
Who's Emma?
I love it.
So funny.
Okay, that's the end of our updates, but it does lead very nicely into something that I think that we should discuss. Is TV dead?
I don't think it's dead. It's dying, maybe.
Slow down.
Yeah.
It's in the coffin, but the nail's not in it.
Exactly. I wouldn't write it off just yet. I think also it depends who you ask. I think that's quite a sweeping statement. Like, there'll be people who are not social media users who will still sit down on their sofa and switch on the TV every night to watch a TV show that comes on. But I think especially in a world where streaming platforms are so easily accessible, the physicality of going on and turning a TV is a lot less common because people will just switch on iPlayer in their spare time.
So I guess think of it from this perspective. When was the last time that you went to a TV and just looked at, is it analog? The analog channels. So you're like channels 1 through to 20.
Well, recently we have just had a general election.
Okay, that's fair.
So removing me watching that, I actually can't. Maybe a Country File.
Oh, you're just airing yourself today.
No, okay. I don't feel like Country File should be a thing to be aired for. It's very educational.
I'm not. It's just the Apple Music and the Country File. Like, there's a picture.
I am a 50-year-old woman. But no, other, not telly for me.
Do you watch telly?
I think if it's a show that's coming out on a regular basis, I'm more inclined to go and watch it on the TV. For example, me and like if I'm watching something with my friends, the first thing that comes to mind is Big Brother when that was live. I know this was last year.
So you watched it live?
Yeah, on the TV. Okay. Because that was it was a regular show, whereas other things I just kind of catch up on in my spare time.
Yeah, I've realised I've just told a big fat lie. I actually watched telly last night. House of Dragons is out at the moment.
Oh, I'm just watching it on catch up at the minute.
Really? No, I like to watch it live.
I do like that one. I don't think the format of. Do you want to? Okay, go ahead, Chris.
It's more of a talking point because first off, you should define TV exactly.
Yes.
But then also, if you think when to like Game of Thrones when it came out, the drama, the romance of people talking for a week about what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
That's done.
Yeah.
Because you just watch it in a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
And you go, wasn't that great? Yeah, cool. Done.
Next. Yeah.
But it's not, there's no narrative that's being taken on.
Yeah.
It's just given to you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I find it interesting, these part 1s and part 2s that are coming out. Bridgerton did it.
Yeah.
So it's still like they're learning from that.
Yeah.
That we need to not give it all to us at once. But
so I think Chris's point is completely right in the sense that the long form, it is content as such. The long form episodic content, that's not going to die in terms of like people still have an ambition to be entertained. Like films still exist, like movies still exist, for example. But I guess where I'm sort of thinking about it is from like an advertising perspective. So if we go down that line, so I actually started my career in TV media buying. And so I remember this not even that long ago, so like 7 years ago, I worked at an agency that did all the media buying for, this will have to be bleeped out, but at the time. And when Boohoo sponsored Love Island, or might have been Pretty Little Thing, one of the two in the group. The two companies were at war with one another with the founders, and every time we would come into the office and there had been Pretty Little Thing had the spot right before Love Island came back on after the break. They would ring up and be like, whack another 2 million on it. I don't care. Get me that spot.
Really?
Like, I need that spot type thing on analog. Whereas that doesn't really exist anymore. That need to be there on that specific spot at that specific time because people aren't consuming in that way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think it's as common now at all, particularly because if people are watching it on catch up as well, the ads are different, you know, like it's not the same. I do think it's a really good point to think about.
And do you think if we were trying to reach you know, like even if we're talking about Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, like those shows really do have like really broad demographic appeal, 100%. But like I love looking at all the memes I'm seeing on TikTok now about like the Targaryens and stuff like that, and like it has mass appeal. Like you can touch it wherever you are on the web. But if we were marketing a new TV show, for example, do you think the media spend would be better spent on social or better spent on TV spots?
I think social is where the conversation is. It's where the eyes are.
I think
Personally.
generally, although all I would say is it depends on who the target audience is for that TV show.
Yeah.
It's very dependent. I don't think you can
Yeah.
apply the same thinking to every TV show.
For your demographic.
Yeah, like for
In that
Country
case-
File, I wouldn't be putting it on social. That the episode is out. I would maybe
Yeah.
on Facebook a little bit, but no. Whereas like the generation who is your target market are also on socials, but also watching the show. I would more so on social.
Yeah, agreed.
And do you think it'd be weird? So say Country File.
Oh, I love this. Country File's getting all the...
They go, we're going to take Country File off of traditional TV.
Yeah.
Country File's not a Netflix show. How would that make you feel? Would it lose its like je ne sais quoi as like a
little-
traditional?
A little bit, because I guess it's similar. Your Country Files, your EastEnders, like it's a time slot. It's always at the same time every week and all the rest of it. Whereas if it was to be on Netflix, I feel like it would miss that nostalgic feeling that you get. Like I watch these shows because I was brought up on them with my
Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it on whilst I have my dinner, like in the background, or I wouldn't sit and be like, I really want to watch the next episode of Country File tonight. Like whereas I feel like Netflix, it's more binge and it's more, it's like a passion to want to watch it. Whereas there's that nostalgic feeling of channels.
Yeah,
And
Definitely.
but everyone's nostalgic feeling is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So like if we talk about like kids nowadays, like they're watching YouTube Kids. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
whereas for like us when we were younger, or even now, we might say, oh, we want to sit down and watch some TV. We might mean Netflix, we might mean another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Whereas they're going to go, oh, we're going to sit down and watch YouTube. Are they? Because I don't know if they would reference it.
But I feel like if they're gonna, when we say like YouTube, I initially think of an influencer, like a content creator, like we're watching that individual person. When I think of YouTube, I think of vlogs, I think of that day in the life, is for me personally.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So in 20 years time with kids, it depends on who's on YouTube, who is that.
See, I'm different. Like I go
What
to
do you watch
I
on
don't go
YouTube?
to YouTube knowing what I'm going to watch. I don't go, oh, I'm going to go and watch the new Molly May vlog or whatever it is. I'll go, I'm going to search for something that's of interest to me and I'll end up in like a rabbit hole. Like if I need to
Yeah.
know about something or educate myself on something,
Yeah.
I'll go to YouTube and then I'll get my suggested videos and then I'll
Go
get down
through
into that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
I guess it depends who and what the kids are watching on YouTube.
With Miss
Is it
Rachel,
people?
isn't that a thing? Miss Rachel?
But you're not gonna in 20
yeah.
years time, like when they're teenagers, be like, right, let's watch Miss Rachel.
No, but
No.
I just mean in the sense of when we were younger, our parents would have plunked us in front of the TV.
Yeah,
Whereas now we're plunking our kids in front of
true.
YouTube.
Yeah,
In that sense, then I think it will trigger nostalgia, because nostalgia is what you're based on experience, isn't it? So if that's what kids are brought up watching,
yeah.
as much as they might not turn on Miss Rachel when they're 20 years old, they will still look back at it and think, like
well,
that's
it's like we
sweet.
look back like bananas in pajamas. Like
CBBS,
yeah.
Very wholesome.
tweenies.
Yeah. Okay.
Those were the days.
Good chats.
You make me want to do this now. Tonight I might.
Have a little
you gonna
nostalgic
go and have
TV.
a-
Yeah. Well, do you know, I love those TikToks where it's like, do you guys remember this? Anyone who was born in the
they
90s.
are like the 90s kids.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, I know all the lyrics to, all, of, to all of these intros. I'm like, it makes me want to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I saw a clip from the Teletubbies, like the OG Teletubbies the other day. That was just such a vibe. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
See them in their
The
like
Hoover.
little spaceship
Yeah.
beds with their foil quilts. It's like
Yeah.
what?
I also, Pingu has
Oh my
never been so
goodness.
so much more relatable to me now.
Do you know what?
It's just,
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to watch this. It's like Disney movies and all the rest of it, I now get all of those like innuendos. And it's
I mean, Disney's dark imagery whenever you look into it.
I mean, true. But it's like now watching Pingu from like a different point of view. I'm like, oh my God, I completely get how you feel. Whereas as a kid, I was like, cute little penguin on the telly.
More surface level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Can we talk about this all day?
No, we can't. We must move on. Mark and Spencer.
Yes.
We have to talk about it.
Love it.
This was, so for anyone listening, we have a Slack channel called Industry News, which is popping off all day, every day, with people putting new campaigns that they've seen, industry updates in there. And we were hot on it with this one. It was like in there within the first 2 minutes of it being posted, but really smart campaign from Marks and Spencer's, and just really nice way of showing how to utilize influencers' personalities and their brands more so. And it's also really I'll back it up for a second. For those listening who might not know about this, and if you don't, you probably are living under a rock, to be entirely honest. If you're from the UK, that is. So Marks and Spencer's, massive retailer across food, fashion, everything within the UK, recently launched a campaign with Mark Wright and Spencer Matthews, who are two kind of OG reality TV stars. And they both have podcasts. You know, Mark's been a presenter in the US, so they both maintain their profiles even though they're not on reality TV anymore. But they came out with a men's clothing line for Marks and Spencer's. Their names are obviously Mark and Spencer. So it was a really cute little campaign that they did, and just like hit the nail on the head of what everyone kind of wanted to see. Now, off the back of that, we've had other sort of heritage, you know, very British, widely recognized stores across the UK kind of jumping on this. So Matalan did Matt and Alan. We also had Aldi did Alan and Diane, but they did it in a very interesting way where they had two stools. One had a name tag saying Alan on it, and the other one didn't have anything on it. And the caption was, Diane from finance didn't want to join. So I thought that was quite a smart way that they did it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out of the loop on this. I've been in Pitch World. Have John Lewis joined the conversation yet?
There's been a lot. So John and Lewis, there was Pri and Mark for Primark.
Yeah.
And then there was one from Reese where they kind of took the mick out of it a bit, and it was this whole video of just this one guy, and then at the end he says, oh, but that's not actually how you spell my name, kind of thing. So it's good fun, and I like the fact that all these other brands have jumped on this conversation. It's like clearly they're really making sure they're listening for what's on social, and the videos that have come out from those have done really well, because obviously it's a really fun topic. It's really simply executed, but it works with the social audience, which is really nice.
And I love it that it's had more of a conversation, and that people and brands that are traditionally seen as competitors of one another are actually really harmoniously taking part in conversation around social, and I think that's a really, really lovely thing to see.
Yeah,
because it hasn't always historically been harmonious, the whole Colin the caterpillar situation. I found that quite a brutal couple of months.
I mean, it was all very strategically planned. I actually had a conversation with the person that ran the campaign the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did they say?
That was years in the making, that one.
No, but I just like, for some of the conversations around it, I don't know. It was funny, but then it
got a bit serious at one point, didn't it?
Whereas this is lighthearted.
It's lighthearted.
Yeah.
We like it. It's what we need.
Yeah,
after
for sure.
Jenny Leg.
Absolutely.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Apparently.
Yeah. Wow. New term. Shortening everything these days.
I know.
One thing I wanted to talk about was TikTok Shop. You can buy a full chicken on TikTok Shop. Like, you can get it delivered. There's a butcher's on TikTok Shop. Not only chicken, you can...
They're coming for Deliveroo now.
Yeah, you could order a steak, a pork chop, cherry tomatoes. So let's have a look. We can get...
What's the delivery on that? 2 to 3.
So chicken legs. Chicken legs, 3 sold from $3.99. Yellow plantain, 13 sold from $3.30. Beef ribs, 2 sold, $10.99. So we're starting to see actual food being sold on TikTok Shop. Would you do a food shop on TikTok Shop?
No.
Or like my weekly groceries. No.
No.
Never.
Do you ever order like your weekly groceries on something like Deliveroo?
No.
I haven't done it before, but I know someone who has.
I've been tempted.
Yeah.
I'm quite lazy. I do get groceries on Deliveroo.
But like
quite a lot.
but like little bits, or are we talking like a full on week?
No, not a week. I don't plan that my life that far ahead.
Okay.
I actually think people will start doing this.
Can you pretend to buy one?
Okay.
What is the delivery?
Do you want me
on
to
that?
order you a chicken, Imogen?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to order you a chicken on
Your
my
Sunday
TikTok
roast
shop.
sorted.
Do I want 5 kilograms, 1 kilogram, or 10 kilograms? I don't want 10 kilograms.
No, feeding 2. So let's.
I also don't want chicken legs. I don't really like chicken legs.
I thought this was for me.
Well, you need to cook it and bring it in for me. I'm going to buy you a smoked chicken.
Lovely.
1.5
Wow.
kilograms.
Stunning.
Estimated delivery July 15th.
That's what I need.
Got 5
Wait.
days. Just to clarify, the item is non-returnable.
Do you know what it is for me? It's just the fact that it's raw meat. I just can't get around that.
Is it? It's not. I'm not being sent a cooked chicken.
No, it's
Raw.
It's raw. I mean, it's cooked there, but it will be raw when it arrives.
That doesn't sit
Where's
well
it coming
with me.
from?
Hang on. Learn more.
This is my thing. Yeah. I'll write into them and be like, you need to do an episode about this.
Okay.
It
go.
is from Home.
You guys are all going to watch Country Folly. You're going to see it and go, I'll give it 5 minutes.
I don't know where it's coming from. It's from Everfresh Butchers. Where are you, Everfresh Butchers?
Is that what Sainsbury's
You
use?
must watch Grand Designs.
Yeah, I love Grand Designs.
That's a great show, to be fair. I can get behind
Here
Grand
we go.
Designs. I have
You
to
get
say.
10% off your first order.
Oh, let's order a
Anyway, there's
batch.
loads of butchers and fresh produce now on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, I guess the question is it fresh when it gets to you?
I mean, probably, because it'll just be the same as if you ordered food from like Marks and Spencer's or
True.
Tesco.
Yeah.
You're just like,
It's a no from me.
I think TikTok Shop is going to become a much bigger part of our
Although,
life.
I see like this whole sweets, chocolate, like edible gifts are big on TikTok that I wouldn't mind purchasing. You know, you get those like massive tubs of like whatever Haribo it is, that's your favorite. Things like that don't really have an expiry date of coming up to a couple of days' time.
I feel like you're safer with sweets, aren't you? I mean, you can't really go too
I'm not
wrong
going to
with
get
that.
salmonella off some sweets.
No.
Unless they've touched the
You'd
chicken.
hope so.
What's the most, so if we talk about, and this is one of the barriers with TikTok Shop, which we just seem to love on this podcast today, is the concept of a laptop purchase. So there's certain things that you will only buy on a laptop.
Yeah.
So for some people, it's like a holiday, for example. I mean, I book everything on my phone. I very rarely buy stuff on my laptop because it's just easier. So like I book holidays on my phone, but a lot of people don't. And they're like, there's a cap as to how much they'll spend on a mobile device versus a laptop. Do you guys feel like that?
I am one of those people.
So what constitutes a laptop purchase?
Depends how big the stakes are. I would say it's things like holidays or like booking hotels and things. I want it on the big screen. I need to see the whole gallery right in front of me. At the phone, what if there's a little detail I've not noticed on here and it's too small? I want to read through all the lists, have it side by side.
See, slightly similar to that, but slightly different. I'm more inclined to spend more if it's on the app. So if it's like app, rather than the web browser of.
I love an app actually. Now I used to hate them. Yeah.
I will spend as much money as you need me to on the app. But if it's like on mobile, but if it's the web browser on my phone, then I agree. I feel like I'll be missing out on some details. So I'm a bit.
Is that just like a UI thing? So like a design thing in terms of like the experience that you're getting on there?
Definitely. I feel like it. I don't know, I just get the information that I need. Whereas if it's on the web browser, sometimes it doesn't quite, it's just a different experience. And it's less trustworthy.
If it's not user friendly, it's more of a barrier, isn't it?
So if we transfer that sort of same feeling to TikTok Shop, what will it take for you to book a holiday on TikTok Shop?
I couldn't imagine it because I don't see them as a place to order holidays. I think it would take a lot of time and adjustment for me to see them as a
There'd be
holiday
such
provider.
a great opportunity for like content create, like the ads on that.
True.
Because you would have the ads would be like content creators selling you this holiday and having that experience rather than like your traditional go on a holiday
catalog image.
Yeah.
So like the opportunities from a social point of view.
Oh, that's interesting. I think we actually like posed a campaign like this for a client before where it was having influencers put together their dream holiday, picking the hotel, picking the location, like the itinerary, and we'd suggest that people could just buy that entire package.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Rather than
Imagine though, because you know on TikTok Shop, if a creator has linked a product, it comes up above the title with a little button. Imagine you could do that with someone's travel vlog or travel
because
the
comments are always
Yeah.
the comments are always, and like so many influencers now, because like I'm in the market for a holiday. For October.
Remarket to her.
Get some ads, please. And I'm looking at like last winter sun is what I'm typing in all the rest of it. And there are so many influencers that I'm seeing that are going to these amazing places and they don't tell you, understandably, where they are or which hotel, what the Airbnb was until they've left because of like privacy, because some strange people would probably go and do that.
I think the difficulty with booking a holiday in TikTok Shop would be like your flight times. When is that going to happen? So that would be quite difficult.
And then you having to link up with all those different service providers.
You'd have to.
I even find when I'm trying to, like, I've been looking at holidays before and it's flights and hotel included, but then it takes you through to a different website to go and link to the flights, for example. Or how's that going to look on TikTok Shop? Is it going to be taking you out of the app then into browser? And is that going to get a bit difficult, or will it just be able to pull it all in?
Holidays are out. They're not happening on TikTok Shop.
No. We've not really sold it to ourselves, let alone anyone else there, have we?
What would be like, could you see yourself, I don't know, buying
a house?
No, more like an air wrap.
That I could see happening.
On TikTok Shop?
Yeah. I could see that.
They do sharks. Was it the sharks?
Sharks.
Sharks are on there.
Okay.
I think a material product.
If you saw it on there and there's a direct link to it,
but if
would you rather buy it from there or would you rather go on the website and buy it from there?
I would maybe double check pricing just to ensure.
Compare the deals.
Yeah, and also just make sure that the origin and that because obviously with TikTok Shop, you can have a look at the seller and you can view their profile. And if, for example, it's somewhere where I know that the Air app is not sold or it's only sold like 5 of them, it's not verified, then no, I would not. I'm very vigilant on my TikTok Shop with checking sellers, and if they sell thousands or if they've got good reviews. It's the same with Amazon. Like I don't buy off there without looking at feedback and the seller.
Interesting.
But no, because I feel like that's where you wouldn't get the Air app. You would get, I don't know.
Depends.
Little thing sometimes if you don't check.
Depends. Okay, cool. Well, what have you guys got coming up for the rest of the week? Tell us all. Anything else that you'd like to add or talk about today?
I mean, I just can't believe we're already going into September planning. I feel like the summer's barely started. I just can't bring myself to say goodbye to the summer yet, but we're planning in advance. It's happening.
I've been booking in November, December creative time, which makes me really excited but sad as well.
I know we're doing our Q4 presentation soon, which is spooky.
Oh yeah,
prepping
around quickly.
Consumer trends.
Yeah.
What else has happened? New starter joining Monday for client services. Very exciting. Nice. So getting that sorted. So yeah, say great things about me.
Of course.
Cool. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for everyone that's watched, listened. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and you can find us here again next week at the same time. Thank you.